The water was a living, breathing entity, cold, pressurized, absolute. For Marcus Thorne, it was a second skin, a world he navigated with primal ease. He was a cave diver, a man who sought the silence and secrets held in the Earth's submerged veins. On this autumn morning, deep in Florida's Panhandle, a region riddled with ancient water-filled caverns, Marcus prepared for a dive into the abyss, a name not just for its depth, but for a pervasive sense of otherness that clung to its dark entrances. He checked his gear with meticulous care: twin rebreathers, redundant tanks, multiple lights, reels of guideline. Every piece, a lifeline. His dive partner, Alex, nodded from across the makeshift staging area. The air was thick with humidity, the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves. The sinkhole's surface was perfectly still, reflecting the grey, overcast sky. A solitary crow called from the cypress trees, its cry swallowed by heavy silence. Marcus took a deep breath, the last taste of the familiar. He slipped into the cool embrace of the water, the surface closing over him like a lid. Light faded quickly, giving way to eerie twilight, then profound, inky blackness. His powerful primary light cut a searing beam through the particulate-laden water, revealing cathedral-like rock formations, stalactites and stalagmites frozen, now swallowed by deluge. He began his descent, following the permanent guideline, a white thread into the unknown. The only sounds, the hiss of his rebreather and the rhythmic beat of his own heart, a drum against crushing silence. Down, deeper and deeper. Pressure building, temperature dropping. He was over 200 feet, visibility still decent. The cave opened into vast chambers, then narrowed into tight restrictions. This was Marcus's life. Exploration, pushing boundaries, feeling like an intruder in a world untouched for millennia. He was heading for a newly discovered passage, a fissure glimpsed on a previous dive, a potential new frontier. His primary light flickered once, then twice. An anomaly, he thought, tapping the casing. It steadied, but unease had been planted. Moments later, squeezing through a narrow gap, his reel snagged. He tugged gently, too gently. The guideline, his only pathway back, snapped with an almost imperceptible thwip, a sound lost in the vastness, but a sensation that shot ice through his veins. His heart rate spiked. He had backup reels, but he was deep, in an unfamiliar restriction. His primary light, flickering again. The beam weakened, then died, plunging him into absolute, terrifying darkness. His backup light immediately flared, but its beam was not as piercing. He swept it around wildly, desperately searching for the snapped end of the guideline. Nothing. The water, once his ally, now pressed in, an indifferent, suffocating weight. He was disoriented, spun around. The familiar rock formations seemed to shift, to mock him in the dim, struggling beam. He felt a sudden, inexplicable sense of being watched. Above the surface, Alex waited. Marcus's return time came and went. An hour, then 2. A cold dread, heavier than any diving weight, settled. He knew the risks of the abyss, Marcus's skill. But the cave humbled even the most experienced. Alex made the call. Elite cave divers were mobilized. The response was swift, but the environment unforgiving. Divers descended, following Marcus's last known trajectory. They found the permanent guideline intact for several hundred feet, but at the restriction where Marcus had intended to explore, the line ended abruptly, snapped cleanly. A chilling discovery. Marcus had been cut off from his only path home. The search became a desperate, methodical grid pattern, pushing into the cave's depths, its unexplored veins. Each team spent hours submerged, battling exhaustion, hypothermia, and psychological strain. It became a test of human endurance against the Earth's indifference. For days, then weeks, teams worked tirelessly, yet they found no sign of Marcus, no equipment, nothing. It was as if he had simply ceased to exist. The cave offered no trace, no hint of his fate, only its profound ancient silence, now tinged with deeper mystery. As search efforts dwindled, then ceased, the strangeness of Marcus Thorne's disappearance truly settled in. Elite divers spoke of the sheer void of evidence. A skilled cave diver does not vanish without leaving something behind. Equipment failures, entanglements, body recovery, these were understood outcomes. Marcus's absence was different. It was absolute. But a few anomalies surfaced, whispers among the search teams, never officially confirmed. One veteran diver reported a fleeting, almost imperceptible shift in the water current within a deep, uncharted chamber, far past where Marcus was believed to be. Not natural, he insisted, but something artificial. A powerful displacement, a sudden vacuum. He dismissed it as fatigue, but the memory lingered, a cold knot. Another reported a strange, rhythmic tapping sound, faint but distinct, echoing from a side passage deemed a dead end. Like metal on rock, they said. Too consistent to be natural, too fleeting to be pinpointed. When they returned, the sound was gone. These were not details for official reports. These haunted divers, making them question the known. The cave, it seemed, had more than just geological secrets. The theories began to proliferate, whispered amongst the diving community, debated by locals. Was it equipment failure, catastrophic and total, leaving no trace? Unlikely, given Marcus's meticulous maintenance. Was it a sudden, acute medical emergency, a heart attack, a stroke, that rendered him helpless? Possible, but still, where was the body? The cave floor was scoured. Then there were darker theories. Some spoke of the cave's true nature, not just a geological formation, but a living, hungry entity, capable of swallowing men whole. Old local legends spoke of the pull in the abyss, a force that drew in the unwary. Others whispered of a more terrestrial, yet unsettling possibility, that Marcus, disoriented, lost, had found a hidden passage, an exit from which he simply chose not to return. A deliberate disappearance. But why? Marcus Thorne was deeply entwined with his life. The idea of him abandoning it all, it didn't fit. The most unsettling theory revolved around those fleeting, unconfirmed reports. The unnatural current, the rhythmic tapping. What if Marcus had encountered something truly inexplicable down there? Something that existed in the profound darkness? Something else? The idea was dismissed as irrational, product of fear. But the questions remained, cold and sharp, like shards of ice. Years have passed since Marcus Thorne vanished into the abyss. The sinkhole remains, its dark surface still reflecting the indifferent sky. Divers still visit, though fewer now dare its deepest, most enigmatic chambers. His name, once synonymous with exploration, is now a chilling whisper, a cautionary tale. No body was ever recovered, no equipment found, no explanation truly satisfied the aching void of his absence. The abyss held its secret close, its silence unbroken. Was he lost in an uncharted labyrinth, his air running out, his body settling into eternal sediment? Did he succumb to a sudden, fatal physiological event, leaving no time to react, no trace to follow? Or did he, perhaps, encounter something far more profound, something that defied logical explanation, something that absorbed him entirely into the ancient darkness? The mystery of Marcus Thorne's disappearance serves as a stark reminder of human understanding's limits, of the vast, indifferent power of the natural world, and perhaps of the unsettling possibility that some places on this earth hold secrets too deep, too strange, too final for us ever to truly comprehend. The water still waits, cold, pressurized, absolute, and deep within its embrace, the abyss still holds its breath, guarding its truth in an eternal, impenetrable silence.